What is good? What is happening? What is happening? Welcome back to Kovax Corner. Appreciate you taking the time to come through and hang out with your homie. We're going to do something a little bit different tonight. I want to take a little bit of a rest from gaming. And I want to look at something that I'm pretty interested in. I feel that you guys might be interested in it as well. Not only that, but like, we rock the shit out of the Elite Four. Gonna hop on the SSM. We'll hop into Pokemon tomorrow. I got some running around I gotta do. But anyway, it is what it is. But welcome. What's going on, not a bot? Lulu, what's happening? But yeah, no, we're gonna do something a little bit different tonight. We are going to check out the story of Super Mario Bros. 3 from Gaming Historian. Make sure you check his channel out. We got it in the pinned comments down in the description as well. Original video by Gaming Historian. All credit goes to Gaming Historian for his incredible documentary. Go show him some love. You know what I'm saying? It's all him. That's what I'm saying. Kaiba Cup, level 15, sick. What's up? Yo, Epic, what's good? We're doing something a little bit different tonight. We're hanging out. We're gonna check out Gaming Historian. Make sure you go check his page out, drop a sub, like, all that. Links to the original videos everywhere. All credit goes to him. But we are going to see the story of Super Mario 3. It's one of my favorite games. I know Epic's played the game on stream. I've played the game on stream. A few people have played the game on stream. It's one of my favorite games of all time. And yeah, pretty much we're just about to hop right into it. Make sure that the volume's up and that we're good to go. Bam.
It was February 1990. Nintendo of America was about to release one of their biggest games of all time.
So I remember back in like 1993, 1994, something like that, back in the day, I got gifted NES, and I had, what was it, I had the Final Fantasy game that we played on stream. I had Contra, which was a really sick game, and I had Super Mario Bros. 3, and I used to play the shit out of this game. It was my favorite game.
Super Mario Brothers 3, and the hype was real. Super Mario Brothers 3 came out a year and a half earlier in Japan.
Also, back in the day, you had to go to like a 7-Eleven or something like that, or you go to a game store or something like that, so that you were able to pick up the Nintendo magazine in order to like understand what was going on. And a good majority of the time you had to like wait. And it sucked because like the game could be out, but you could wait like 2 months before it comes out, 2-3 months. Sometimes it came out on par with the game, sometimes it came out just before the game so people could read through it, and then they started making it come out around the same time the game came out. Or it would be like a pre-release so that people had information going into the game, which was actually pretty sick.
And even in a time before internet, North America...
And yo, for Super Mario 3, any of these white blocks, because realistically it's a movie set. Because at the very end there, it's like the cutscene, you know what I mean? It's a whole like little play, like a show kind of deal. But with these white blocks, you just crouch on them, you could go behind the movie set. You could still get hit by shit, so like jump on shit or whatever, and you're able to jump out of it if there's like a base or something to jump on. But realistically, you go in behind the scene and run the whole level like that.
American gamers knew all about it. Throughout 1989, magazines printed previews and teasers.
That's what I'm talking about. What is that? World 7, I think.
A major Hollywood movie showed off the game. Some stores even sold import or bootleg versions of the game. But Super Mario Bros. 3 was more than just another game in the series. It proved...
Yo, you see this thing? Yo, this thing came in McDonald's Happy Meals back in the day when I was a kid. These were in McDonald's Happy Meals. We had all of them. The turtle you wound up, he bounced, Luigi bounced too.
It proved that Nintendo
and then
Super
the
Mario
little
Brothers
Goomba used to
were
flip.
not a fad. and even with competition from other companies, Nintendo was still the king of video games. This is the story of how one game captured the hearts and minds of an entire generation of players.
So yo, Nintendo actually started out by making cards, like poker cards and shit.
This
for the
is the
war
story
effort
of Super Mario Bros. 3.
Now how much that game's worth now? Damn. Ultimate Mario.
By the summer of 1986, Mario fever had officially hit Japan.
Jumpman. I have no idea what those kids are saying, but you know they hype. They super hype about Mario. Jumpman. Don't make me take out the credit card. Fishing.
Nintendo's Super Mario Bros. For the Famicom was a smash hit.
Crazy good.
Selling more than 3 million copies. The country's best-selling book was Super Mario Bros. The Complete.
Look at Bowser. Doesn't look like that anymore. And the princess? The OG princess. It's her mom.
Strategy guide, which contained tips and tricks on how to beat the game. The Mario Bros. Theme song was given lyrics and released as a single, Go Go Mario. Super Mario Bros. Even shifted Japan's public perception on video games.
Before Super Mario Bros. Came out, even the Parliament had taken up the issue of the influence of video games on children, and newspaper articles were mostly negative.
Yeah, it was mostly like brain rot that they were thinking about. Like, there would be no ingenuity with the children and stuff.
But Mario's bright atmosphere cleared away that prejudice against the Famicom. Hiroshi Imanishi, Nintendo.
The game caused a sales explosion for the Famicom system. By June of 1986, Nintendo had sold more than 6.5 million units. 1 out of every 5 households in Japan had a Famicom.
1 out of every 5.
And with Super Mario Bros.' enormous
everywhere.
success, a sequel was never in doubt. Super Mario Bros. 2 was released on June 3rd, 1986, less than a year after the original game's debut. Nintendo released the game on the Famicom Disk System, a new add-on for the Famicom that would play games using proprietary discs.
That's hilarious. That's jokes. Some floppy disk action. You see this? You seeing this? I see this. This is crazy. That's fucking nuts.
They were cheaper to make than standard cartridges and could hold more data. Nintendo hoped that all their future big releases would be dedicated to the disk system.
Yo, just imagine if Nintendo like started PCs. They started just creating PCs for gaming and shit. Just imagine the kind of gaming PC we would have today. Like the ones that we have today are actually pretty sick and shit, especially all the home-brewed ones. But think about it, because they were strictly gaming. Their shit would be so expensive.
A sequel to the most popular Famicom game would help drive sales. Super Mario Bros. 2 would become the best-selling game on the disk system, selling more than 2 million units.
This is a job
The
new
players
slang, that's funny.
were hungry for more. The game felt more like an expansion pack than a true sequel. Visually, Super Mario Bros. And Super Mario Bros. 2 were almost identical. It was also an extremely difficult game, which was a turnoff for new players. Nintendo even advertised it as such, slapping a "For Super Players" label on the game's packaging.
For Super Mario,
And
Super
players
Players.
weren't the only ones who wanted a true sequel. Research and Development 4, the team behind the first 2 Super Mario Bros. Games, were ready to provide the Famicom with the ultimate Mario game. So Nintendo got to work. A team of over 10 people at R&D 4 would be responsible for making Super Mario Bros. 3. Their leader was Shigeru Miyamoto.
Can't say
If
anything.
Mario was Nintendo's Mickey
Dude
Mouse,
had gold teeth in the
Shigeru
back.
Miyamoto was Nintendo's Walt Disney. He created Mario back in 1981, and since then had seen his character become the face of the company. Miyamoto took a step back during the development of Super Mario Bros. 2. He had recently become a father and was involved in too many projects.
You know what I've noticed a good majority of the time? And I remember from like when I was a kid, but anytime I see someone who is left-handed, I know that motherfucker could draw. They can draw extremely well. It is nuts. And then you get people that are ambidextrous, forget about it.
But now he was ready to throw himself completely into a sequel. He would oversee almost every aspect of the creation of Super Mario Bros. 3. Miyamoto's right-hand man, Takashi Tezuka, was named the game's director. Tezuka joined Nintendo 2 years earlier at the age of 24, and was instrumental in the design and development of Super Mario Bros. And The Legend of Zelda. Following that, Tezuka was given his first director job on Super Mario Bros. 2. His work on that game, while facing a tight deadline, proved he was more than capable of doing the job.
Who remembers cassette tapes? Cassette players. The Mamma Jamma got this right here, eh? That's sick. That's sick. Got all these cassettes and stuff. He has the Nintendo magazine, it looks like almost. Like a template, I guess. What else he got there in the background? What is that? Is that a camera? It might be a camera. That's sick.
But Super Mario Bros. 3 would prove to be a challenge. Toshihiko Nakago was the main programmer. He began his career at Nintendo in 1983 by porting arcade games to the Famicom. Nakago proved invaluable when he helped Miyamoto and Tezuka bring their ideas to life by programming The Legend of Zelda and Super Mario Bros. Working alone as the composer was Koji Kondo. Before Kondo arrived at Nintendo in 1984, music and sound effects were handled by the programmers. Kondo was one of the first members of Nintendo's dedicated music staff. Along with veterans, Research and Development 4 had a group of young designers and programmers eager to prove their value. Among them was Kensuke Tanabe, a new hire who not only had to design levels for Super Mario Bros. 3, but was also directing his own game. Yume
No, that just happened. Hold on.
Kondo was one of the first members of Nintendo's dedicated music staff. Along with veterans, Research and Development 4 had a group of young designers and programmers eager to prove their value. Among them was Kensuke Tanabe, a new hire who not only had to design levels for Super Mario Bros. 3, but was also directing his own game, Yume Kojo, Doki Panic.
So that game right there, that was like, so he programmed the game, and then they threw Mario character skins over top of characters, and they made 4 sprites that you're able to use. So realistically, this isn't even in Super Mario canon.
Kazuaki Morita, a programming whiz who helped program Super Mario Bros. At the age of 19. Katsuya Eguchi, a graphic artist whose talent caught the eye of Miyamoto. He was brought on as a level designer. And Hideki Kono, a designer who had dreamed of working at Nintendo ever since he started playing Famicom games. With his team assembled, Miyamoto could begin production on his ultimate Mario game. But making this new game would require a lot of power. Luckily, it was available. Although Super Mario Bros. 2 was released on the Famicom Disk System, new advancements in cartridge technology quickly made the disk system obsolete. Chip prices were coming down, and storage capabilities were increasing.
Bro, imagine that, hanging out. This is your job. You putting little breakers and shit inside these boards, like damn, by hand. That is ridiculous. We got machines for that shit now. That's crazy to think about. Think about how tech savvy people had to be back in the day in order to do shit like that.
Prices were coming down, and storage capabilities were increasing.
Just by hand, knowing where it has to go, and then you gotta like solder it to the board. And I wonder, obviously they're doing this by hand. They had to hand solder this shit. Damn.
Internally, Nintendo developed MMC chips, multi-memory controllers, which greatly expanded the Famicom's capabilities. Developers made games never before thought possible. Miyamoto credited MMC chips as the reason...
Yo, I had that game too. I had Punch-Out. Punch-Out was sick.
...the Famicom lasted so long on the market. Super Mario Bros. 3 utilized the MMC3 chip, which allowed better graphics, screen splitting, diagonal scrolling, and more memory. With this new power, Tezuka was ready to try something new.
We made Super Mario Bros. 2 by changing the original game's difficulty and stage design, but we couldn't do that again. So I wanted to change everything. Takashi Tezuka.
R&D4's first new idea was to change the perspective. They experimented with making a Mario game using an isometric view, but
Mario 64 didn't come out until years later.
Miyamoto wasn't a fan. With a diagonal view from slightly overhead, you lost your sense of distance to the ground. So I told him that development would be difficult, he said. R&D4 scrapped the idea and went back to the standard side view. Nintendo referred to Super Mario games as athletic games, games where players could move freely, run fast, and jump high. It's a type of game that is easily approachable for younger, inexperienced players, but can also be played by experienced hardcores without getting tired of it, said Miyamoto. This game philosophy re-emerged.
Know how many times in documentaries I've watched about the speedrun history of fucking the original Super Mario and Super Mario 2? Like, it's so not. This game is actually insane for stuff that goes on in this game, for things that you're able to do to speedrun it and whatever, the quickest time, and they do it by frames, like frames per second. It's crazy.
This game philosophy re-emerged. R&D4 began brainstorming new ways to make Super Mario feel even more athletic. They could let Mario slide down hills, pick up and kick objects, and even fly through the air.
All about the
Graphically,
pastries.
Mario could not stay the same. The first two Super Mario games looked too similar. So R&D4 gave the Mario universe a complete makeover. Nothing from the first two games carried over. Every single character, enemy, item, and environment was brand new. There was a cutesy aesthetic to the graphics,
The first level.
director Takashi Tezuka. In the previous Mario game, he added eyeballs to many objects. He did the same thing in Super Mario Bros. 3. He wanted to add eyes to just about everything.
Make it
said
whimsical.
designer Katsuya Eguchi. Colors were bright and varied. Trees and bushes danced on screen. The visuals had a theatrical element.
Yeah.
A curtain rose to introduce the game.
And therefore, they're on a stage. This is a stage that they're on, and they're putting on a performance.
Hanging platforms and blocks bolted to the background resembled set pieces. Mario finished each level by exiting the stage. R&D4 put these new visuals in an all-new world as well. Now Mario had 8 new areas to explore, each with their own visual theme. Grassland, Desert Hills, Oceanside, Big Island, The Sky, Iceland, Pipe Maze, The Castle of Koopa.
It was
The
level 7.
designers cranked out levels.
For the pipe maze, it was level
Hideki
7.
Kono
World
didn't
7.
remember the experience fondly.
Called that.
We laid tracing paper over graph paper and painstakingly drew levels every day, he recalled. Once finished, the designers brought their levels to the map room. a long, narrow room where programmers took the sheets of graph paper and programmed map data. It was a long process. Designers had to wait a whole day before seeing their creation on screen, and even then, there were plenty of bugs to work out. To connect all the levels, the development team added an overworld map. Levels were no longer played in a linear order. Now, players could choose their own path to the end of each area.
Which was pretty cool. That was super innovative for the time.
How did Research and Development 4 come up with these new worlds? They may have gotten inspiration from the most magical place on Earth. In 1987,
Disneyland.
Shigeru Miyamoto and other members of the Research and Development 4 team needed inspiration. So, they took a trip to the United States. They visited several places, including New York City, San Francisco, and Disney World in Orlando, Florida. Disney World had several unique areas, and it felt like a fairy tale land. Super Mario Bros. 3 was similar, with its 8 different colorful worlds. Cinderella's castle sat in the center of the park, connecting everything together. It was similar in Super Mario Bros. 3. The White Castle in each world helped guide the player along, and was the key to getting to the next area. No one at Nintendo has ever confirmed that Super Mario Bros. 3 was inspired by Disney World, but the similarities are interesting.
Yo, I remember this commercial. Hold on.
Has ever confirmed that Super Mario Bros. 3 was inspired by Disney World, but the similarities are in.
That was the commercial back in the day. In the 90s, you used to see this commercial all the fucking time. Because I remember this. I don't even know what that is, but I remember seeing that and the monorail go by with the people walking underneath and the fountain. It almost looks like the Married with Children fountain.
Interesting.
That's Joe's.
New graphics and levels weren't the only addition to Super Mario Bros. 3. R&D 4 added new power-ups as well. One of Miyamoto's ideas was to have Mario ride a dinosaur.
Yoshi?
He had wanted to do it since the original Super Mario Bros., but technical limitations prevented it from happening. To compromise, director Takashi Tezuka pitched the idea of Mario transforming into animals rather than riding them. It was a good idea. Mario could get different power-ups and suits that would transform him into animals with their own powers and abilities. The Super Leaf turned Mario into a raccoon and gave him the power to hit enemies with his tail and fly completely over a level. But the ability to fly was initially too powerful. Head programmer Toshihiko Nakago voiced his concerns. If we had gone with that, all of the obstacles and the objects on the ground that we managed to create would have been wasted, he said. But Tezuka insisted they come up with a way to make it work. To compromise, the programmers made some restrictions. Mario could only fly if he took off from a runway, and even then, the flight was temporary. The frog suit let Mario jump higher and swim faster, but he slowed down when using the suit on land. The hammer suit gave Mario the ability to throw hammer projectiles and protect himself with a fireproof shell.
Yeah.
There was also the Tanuki suit, based on a mythical Japanese creature. It was identical to the raccoon suit, except it also let Mario transform into a statue, granting temporary invincibility. Miyamoto loved the Tanuki suit. Even though I knew it wouldn't make sense to non-Japanese players, I was so excited about it that I left it in, he said. At one point, someone pitched the idea of Mario turning into a centaur.
Just imagine Mario as a centaur. That'd be whack. That'd be so whack. I could never picture that. I could never picture that ever in my life. But there it is. It's right there. Look at him. It's like one of those Flash cartoons of Mario's that you end up seeing parody of.
It got rejected. With new power-ups came a cast of enemies for Mario to defeat.
Yo,
the usual
clap that
suspects
song.
were still around.
Hate the song.
Goombas,
Clap.
Koopa
Goomba.
Troopas, Hammer Brothers. But there were a ton of new faces as well. Boom Booms, Spikes, Big Bertha, A few enemies were based on staff members' personal experiences. The Chain Chomps came from Miyamoto, who had a bad experience with a neighbor's dog as a child. Boos were supposedly based on director Takashi Tezuka's wife, who was normally a shy woman but got angry when he worked late. The 7 Koopaling bosses were modeled after the young designers at Research and Development 4. It was Miyamoto's way of rewarding their hard work. Along with new power-ups and enemies, new items were added that Mario could use throughout his adventure. The idea was to give less experienced players more opportunities to get past tough levels. The music box put Hammer Brothers enemies on the map screen to sleep, allowing Mario to sneak past. A warp whistle, taken from the Legend of Zelda series, let Mario skip ahead to new worlds. It also served as a way to get around not having a battery save on the cartridge. A hammer broke obstacles and revealed shortcuts and secrets on the map. Jugem's Cloud, also known as Lakitu's Cloud, allowed players to skip a level. The P-Wing allowed Mario to fly completely through a level, a holdover from the original raccoon suit idea. Through the flurry of changes, Miyamoto had to ensure 2 major concepts were present in Super Mario Bros. 3. The first was that players of all skill levels could enjoy the game. New players could find plenty of 1-ups, coins, and power-ups.
Yeah, you get the coin box right there. It's like 10 to 12,
scattered
depending on how fast you can hit it. Oh, wait a sec. And also down here is a 1-up.
1-ups, coins, and power-ups
This is a
scattered
1-up
throughout
here.
the early levels. Minigames and toad houses were placed on the overworld map, giving players even more chances to earn items.
Yo, Cole, what's happening, homie? What's good? You're good. I'm good. We're good. We're all good. We're all here. We're all chilling. Doing something a little bit different tonight. This is something that interests me. So, like, hopefully it interests you guys, too. Make sure that you check the creator out. All shoutouts to him. The story of Super Mario Bros. 3 is my favorite game. I know a couple people have played it, seen me play it, and have played it themselves. And like, yo, deep dive. You know what I'm saying?
As the levels got harder, players would be well stocked. The second major concept was making a game that was fun for 2 people to play. In the original Super Mario Bros., players would take turns when the other died. In Super Mario Bros. 3, players got a turn after each level was completed, and could either work together or compete for the high score. A battle mode was added as well, based on the 1983 Mario Bros. Arcade game. Implementing all of the new moves, graphics, levels, power-ups, and items took a toll on the entire staff at R&D 4.
Pretty sure they worked like 14, 15-hour days, sometimes 18-hour days when they were there.
They were exhausted.
Lurking.
Miyamoto would sometimes work through the night. He kept a close eye on his designers and wasn't afraid to make them fix the smallest detail, even if it meant delaying the game. If it'll make the game even a little bit better, Miyamoto-san's always been unhesitant about making changes, said designer Katsuya Eguchi. Director Takashi Tezuka recalled the struggle. It wouldn't come together well and dragged on, he said. Perhaps no one struggled more than the lone composer, Koji Kondo. 2 years earlier, he composed one of the most iconic jingles in video game history, the Super Mario Bros. Theme. Now, he had to make the theme for Super Mario Bros. 3.
Could have gone down that one pipe, man.
I couldn't figure out how to change it from the original Super Mario Bros., he said. When he made the first Super Mario Bros. Theme, Kondo simply made music that went along with the gameplay. This time around, he focused on genre. Kondo worked in lots of percussion, resulting in a reggae sound. By the end of development, he had composed multiple songs and had Miyamoto and Tezuka help him pick the best ones. By the spring of 1988, the game was finally starting to come together.
Right there is that what is it? It's the pink music note. Hit that. You got a leaf over here, and an HP. I mean a 1-up down here, and like coins. This was a crazy level too. Skirt, big world. Dusted. 1-up. Brah.
Miyamoto was not bluffing when he said he wanted to make the ultimate Mario game. Super Mario Bros. 3 took what was great about the previous installments and added more moves, more power-ups, more characters, and more challenges. It was also chock full of secrets. Many of the new features, such as auto-scroll...
Yo, I hated that level. Jumping on these friggin' beetles, I hated that level, man. It's World 5. I hated this level so much. And he's wearing the Tanuki suit. Bruh.
and the overworld map became staples in the franchise. It took research and development for more than 2 years to make Super Mario Bros. 3. It was also expensive, reportedly costing $800,000 to develop. At the time, the game was the biggest and most...
$800,000 to develop the game. That's back then money. $800,000. What was that, like fucking $2 million, $3 million today? Something like that? Jesus Christ.
labor-intensive Famicom title Nintendo ever made. For comparison, the original Super Mario Bros. Took up around 320 kilobits of memory. Super Mario Bros. 3 was 10 times larger, at 3 megabits. When the game was finally ready to be released in the fall of 1988, the video game landscape in Japan had changed. A new contender in the console market, the PC Engine, was introduced a year prior by NEC, and boasted more colors and better graphics. It was outselling Nintendo's Famicom.
And they're using CDs.
Another company, Sega, was getting ready to introduce its own new console,
the Genesis,
the 16-bit Mega Drive. All of a sudden, Nintendo had to play catch-up and begin developing a new console of their own. Miyamoto's Ultimate Mario game
that's when they came out with
just a sequel.
NES.
It had to buy Nintendo time to develop their new 16-bit machine and prove to the world that they were still the king of video games.
Super Mario Bros. 3
debuted in September of 1988.
So like Super Mario 3, I feel saved Nintendo as a franchise, like as a whole company actually, just due to the fact that the hype was built around it, the new system was coming out as they released that. It came out the same month that I was born. That's cool.
Players wouldn't have to wait long to try it out themselves.
Pretty sure. Hold on. I'm pretty sure that this is a beanstalk that goes up.
Players wouldn't have to wait long.
You got a leaf here. You go down here, get your coins. There's a 1-up over here. And then you have the pink music note that takes you to the clouds.
To try it out themselves. On October 23rd, 1988, Super Mario Bros. 3 was released in Japan. It was clear that the game was a labor of love. Included inside the manual was a note from Research and Development 4.
To Super Mario players, thank you for purchasing Super Mario Bros. 3. In response to the requests of so many Mario fans, Super Mario Bros. 3 is the newest game in the series that we've created to be so much more fun than anything before it. There are many puzzles and traps along your way through this journey. What sorts of wonders are waiting for Mario and Luigi? Enjoy finding out the answer. Yours faithfully, the Mario staff.
Super Mario Bros. 3 was an enormous success. Famitsu magazine, a popular publication in Japan, gave the game a score of 35 out of 40 and
35 out of 40. Yo, they couldn't even be a little bit like, hey man, that's actually a really good game, and just gave them the whole dap up, the 40 piece. Wow. Wow.
called it amazing. MyCom Basic magazine praised the game as well, calling it the culmination of the genre. By the end of 1988, there was a supply shortage of the game. For 5 months straight, Super Mario Bros. 3 was the #1 selling Famicom game in the country.
There was a cartoon too. There was actually a live action show of Super Mario Brothers, and it was kind of weird. It was kind of weird, but it was a different time, early '90s. And then the cartoon came out. And the cartoon was actually pretty cool.
Super Mario Mania once again swept over Japan. Merchandise flooded stores. The game's soundtrack was released on CD and cassette, which featured remixes and arranged versions of Koji Kondo's compositions. There was even a cartoon. The Yamada anime series, Super Mario Bros.
Ooh, not about
was a
that's a
retelling
date.
of
Yo, congratulations on getting a date, homie. Dap up, dap up. You already know, man. Top left. Fucking sick. You do what you gotta do, my guy.
3 fairy tales, featuring characters from Super Mario Bros. 3. While Japanese gamers enjoyed everything Super Mario Bros. 3, the rest of the world waited. It would take more than a year for the game to reach North America. Europe had to wait almost 3 years. All that waiting led to the most anticipation for a video game ever.
Yeah, man. Anticipation is key when it comes to stuff like that. Especially back in the day, man. You had to wait. Same thing with music, TV shows, everything and anything. Magazines, comic books, all that. Records, cassette tapes, CDs. You had to wait. Magazines.
Nintendo wasn't only succeeding in Japan. They were in control of the North American video game market as well. In 1988 alone, Nintendo raked in $1.7 billion in revenue and had a whopping 80% share of the video game market, dominating rivals Atari and Sega. In just over 2 years since launching the Nintendo Entertainment System nationwide, they had sold more than 10 million consoles.
It's a mania. The kids of America are saying, this is great, we've got to have one. For boys in this country between the ages of 8 and 15, not having a Nintendo is like not having a baseball bat. Rick Anguilla, Toy and Business World.
Nintendo's success was in large part thanks to the popularity of Super Mario Bros. Nintendo of America packed the game in their Control Deck set. It quickly became their most popular title. Fans were eager for more. In October of 1988, the same month Super Mario Bros. 3 launched in Japan, Nintendo of America released Super Mario Bros. 2.
This is the game. This is the game. The Super Mario Bros. 2. That's like non-canonical with the whole entire Mario franchise from like what fans have thrown out there, speculated, because this is just a cover-up of that game that we seen earlier. And as I was saying earlier, that they just like redid skins of Mario characters in the game that one dude created because he couldn't get it off the ground. I don't think it was like selling correct or something like that, and they had to do this in order to like break bread, to break even.
Only it wasn't the same game as the Japanese version.
And then some people actually say that Super Mario 2 game is like a hallucination, like a dream or something like that of Mario's.
Nintendo of America's product analysis manager Howard Phillips, who reviewed new games from Japan, had famously rejected the Japanese version of Super Mario Bros. 2. The game looked exactly like the first, and, more importantly,
he clapped himself.
I put down my controller, astonished that Mr. Miyamoto had chosen to design such a painful game, he said. Releasing the Japanese Super Mario Bros. 2 in North America would not be a wise marketing decision. So instead, Nintendo took another title and made it a Mario game.
Told her so.
Yume Kojo Doki Doki Panic, released in 1987 for the Famicom Disk System, was also developed by Research and Development 4. Shigeru Miyamoto had worked on the game, and Mario 3 level designer Kensuke Tanabe was the director.
Yeah, so there's like, it's like a whole theory about how it's Mario's dream and stuff, because at the end of the game it's like he wakes up, right? So people will say that it's a dream and that it's not canonical with the entire Mario franchise, the whole system of Mario, from Mario 1, how he's been a plumber working on those pipes and shit, saving this bitch ass princess, all the way through beating Bowser up and stuff, crushing Goombas, all the way to like Super Mario 3. Well, Mario 1, Mario 2 are the two classic ones. They said Super Mario 2 was too much like the first one, so that's when they took the Doki Doki game, made it into Super Mario 2. But you're still able to get the Super Mario 2. So 1 and 2 are kind of like the old school one. And then 3 is canonical, which is sick. It's the whole movie set. And then from there on out, up into Super Mario 64. And then like from there, it just branched out. And now it's everywhere. Like Luigi got a vacuum on his back sucking up entities and stuff, you know what I mean?
Graphically, it looked better than Super Mario Bros., and it fit the mold of an athletic game. So Nintendo swapped out the characters of Yume Kojo Doki Doki Panic with Mario and Friends, and released it as Super Mario Bros. 2 in North America and Europe. Players were none the wiser. Super Mario Bros. 2 became one of the hottest Christmas items of the 1988 holiday season. It sold out quickly. But popularity wasn't the only reason the game was hard to find in stores. That year, the entire electronics industry suffered a chip shortage.
Yeah, they took a hit.
A new generation of semiconductor and chip technology caused manufacturers to split their production capacity. And
there was a whole documentary about that on Discovery Channel. I remember seeing it way back in the day. Well, like not way back in the day, like early 2000s.
Was higher than ever, with camcorders and portable telephones selling like hotcakes.
Would you pay $1,000 for that? Saving $200, you paying $1,000 for that? Fuck no. I'll give you $20, if that. I ain't paying no $1,000 for that, but back in the day, that's what that shit cost, man. That was new technology.
Prices skyrocketed. Chips that were $2 in 1987 now cost $10 to $12 each.
So memory chip prices soar. Worldwide shortage has caused prices of computer memory chips, both small to 56 kilobyte and large capacity 1 megabyte, to skyrocket. And the Japanese, who sell more than 90% of the world's memory chips, are the biggest beneficiaries. That's sick. The memory chip costs, and this is the chip, right? A 1 megabyte chip, the size can store all the words in a 50-page book, and that was revolutionary. And it went up to $28 per memory chip. Who sells them in the market? The U.S. sells 23.9%, Japan 65.1%, and others. Memory chips, computers have become persistent. Okay. Desperate buying chip, quality, black market, or even stealing them. Last month, 33,000 memory chips worth nearly $400,000 were stolen from Sunnyvale, what is that? I think that'd be like California warehouse. The victim in the situation stores its chips in a 6-foot-tall steel vault. Despite a $5,000 reward, the perpetrator has not been caught. Silicon Valley found shipping. Damn. A booty of 1 megabyte chip at $784 per ounce is worth nearly twice its weight in gold. That is crazy. The drama has a share of backbiting and International intrigue. The Japanese, who have 90% of the market for the advanced memory chips, allegedly are using their position to cut special deals. Damn, cutting deals and all that. That's crazy.
Nintendo was hit hard. To free up supply, they discontinued a dozen games. And because Nintendo controlled all manufacturing, including third-party games, it caused tension with their licensees. Companies were notified that they would be getting fewer cartridges than initially ordered. Some stores took advantage, increasing game prices to $70 each. Analysts estimated that video game supply would be up to 15% less.
$70 each? What? Selling games $70 each back in the day? That's whack. That's whack. You would think like 20, 25 bucks.
Were notified that they would be getting fewer cartridges than initially ordered. Some stores took advantage, increasing game prices to $70 each. Analysts estimated that video game supply would be up to 15% less than market demand. When a reporter asked Peter Main, Nintendo of America's vice president of marketing, what they were doing about the shortage, he replied, "You mean besides hoping and praying?" In the meantime, Nintendo of America had received a copy of Super Mario Bros. 3 from Japan for analysis.
Yo, he
Internally,
missed the
company
leaf. What a
knew
loser.
The game would be huge. When product analysis manager Howard Phillips played the game for review, he was blown away.
For me, when I saw it, I thought this is not just another game, and it's not just a fun and challenging game. It was truly a quintessential video game. Howard Phillips.
However, a few changes needed to be made. The game wasn't as hard as the Japanese Super Mario Bros. 2, but it still proved to be a challenge. In the Japanese version, when Mario got hit while holding a power-up, he shrunk. In the North American version, Mario would stay big when hit. The names of enemies had to be changed as well, most notably the Koopalings. Dave Brooks, a localizer at Nintendo of America and an avid music fan, gave the Koopalings their names based on famous rock stars.
Yeah.
When he set eyes on
That's
a
cool.
Koopaling with wild hair, he immediately thought of Ludwig von Beethoven. Thus, Ludwig von Koopa. Wendy O. Koopa was inspired by punk rocker Wendy O. Williams. Iggy Koopa, punk star Iggy Pop. The speckled Roy Koopa got his name from Roy Orbison. Lemmy Koopa was inspired by the legendary Lemmy from Motorhead. But not all the Koopalings were based on musicians. Morton Koopa Jr. struck Brooks as a wise guy, a big talker, so he named the character after the talk show host Morton Downey Jr., the so-called trash TV pioneer. As for Larry Koopa, that name just seemed like a good fit.
You just need a Larry in the roster. You know what I'm saying? You need a solid name, Larry. What's up, Larry?
Meanwhile, industry insiders wondered, when would Super Mario Bros. 3, the best-selling game in Japan, come to North America?
Oh, that's just Larry.
Nintendo of America was in a bind. With a chip shortage, they couldn't even make enough games to meet demand. But experts predicted the shortage would end in 1989. Super Mario Bros. 2 had just been released and was selling well. It would be premature to bring over Super Mario Bros. 3. There was also the Game Boy, Nintendo's new handheld system.
Which is
The
sick.
plan was to release the system in the summer of 1989.
I had one of these Game Boys. Had one of these bad boys. Yeah. Took 4 AA batteries.
A game like
Oh.
Super Mario Bros. 3 might overshadow the release of the Game Boy. Rather than simply wait around, Nintendo took advantage. They planned to release the game in the first quarter of 1990. Historically, the first quarter of the year had strong software sales. They would spend 1989 teasing the game and building a $25 million advertising campaign.
Damn.
In January of
Has to be like $1 billion
700,000 Nintendo Power subscribers saw the first tease of Super Mario Bros. 3.
Nintendo Power Magazine was the dopest shit when I was a kid. It was the dopest shit. Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, Blockbuster reviews. I remember Blockbuster reviews. Man, I remember Blockbuster 2. That was sick.
And
Contra.
It was merely a sentence.
It's Contra right here. I used to run that shit. Oh man, I used to play this game too. What was it?
In issue number 4,
Play
an
Choice
advertisement
10.
for the Play Choice 10, an arcade cabinet that featured select Nintendo titles, mentioned that Super Mario Bros. 3 was on the way. Nintendo teased it again in issue number 5, when they talked about a contest to win a trip to the Summer Consumer Electronics Show in Chicago. Players wrote into Nintendo, asking about the game.
TMNT.
In issue number 6 of Nintendo Power, a reader asked if Nintendo would ever release Super Mario Bros. 3. The reply confirmed it was coming to Play Choice 10, but that there are no immediate plans to release it for use with the NES. But in the Packwatch section in the back, where Nintendo teased future releases, Super Mario Bros. 3 was listed. By the summer of 1989, magazines like Electronic Gaming Monthly and GamePro imported the game from Japan and wrote up extensive previews with screenshots. For many North American players, this was their first look at the game.
Yeah.
But by July, a few people were playing Super Mario Bros. 3. On July 15th, 1989, Nintendo released the game for Play Choice 10 arcade machines. A Nintendo of America executive called it the best we've ever produced for the system.
So it's almost like back in the day, I'm going to bring up Blockbuster again, or even McDonald's, because McDonald's had it too. They had the little game centers and stuff, where it was like a demo, almost. You could go, you could fuck around, you could play whatever, but realistically, that game has a reset switch, and it's a demo. So it builds up even more hype because you just had a taste. It's almost like it's almost like on the block, you know? First one's free. You know, next one's gonna cost you a little bit. Right?
Although there were far fewer Play Choice 10s than Nintendo Entertainment Systems, word seemed to spread quickly. Operators reported earnings of Play Choice 10 cabinets with Super Mario Bros. 3 had tripled. Meanwhile, in Nevada and California, Universal Pictures was shooting a film that would make Super Mario Bros. 3 the most anticipated video game of all time. In 1989,
God damn it.
It was February 1990. In 1989,
Boom,
president of Universal Studios, Tom Pollock, was in a pickle. Their Jetsons movie wouldn't be ready in time for the holiday season. Pollock had to come up with an alternative, family-friendly movie. Throughout the year, he had witnessed the popularity explosion of Nintendo and thought a movie about video games would be a hit. So Pollock met with Nintendo marketing executives Bill White and Peter Main about a...
So think about how much marketing went into Super Mario 3 to make it such a success that it became. You know what I mean? Like all this marketing, all this hype, because it hasn't even dropped yet in the West. It's dropped in Japan, but it hasn't dropped in the West yet, right? And they're just building up all this hype in 3 different Nintendo Power magazines. They're talking about showcasing it at a festival. They have it on like a little an arcade machine, pretty much, kind of like the ones back in McDonald's and stuff that you were able to play on or whatever. And now you got someone who wants to like do a movie about gaming, holler at your boy and stuff, to throw it in the movie too, for even more promotional use. Like, crazy.
Collaboration. His idea was a kid's version
I
of
remember
the
this
Tommy,
movie too. I
a
forget
rock
the
drama
name of the
film about
movie,
a
but I
disabled
remember.
boy becoming a pinball champion.
Pardon me.
Nintendo couldn't have bought a better ad. In exchange for using their products in the movie, Nintendo received a licensing fee and approval over the script and game footage.
Dog.
Bill White frequented the film set to oversee production. All we were worried about was just making sure that the game footage was spectacular, he said. The movie was called The Wizard.
That's it, The
told
Wizard.
The story of Jimmy, a quiet boy who is obsessed with getting to California. His half-brother, Corey, breaks him out of a mental institution to get him there. Along the way, they meet a girl named Haley. Corey and Haley soon discover that Jimmy is incredibly good at video games. They decide to enter Jimmy into the Video Armageddon tournament at Universal Studios and split the cash prize of $50,000. They set out for Los Angeles with their family and a bounty hunter at their heels. The movie was filled with Nintendo products, including games, the Nintendo Power line, and even the Power Glove.
Yo, that thing was the most overrated piece of shit ever. Man, the only reason why motherfuckers grabbed that is just the flex that they had money to spend on it. That was garbage. Same with the Power Pad. Nintendo Power Pad, like, unless you're trying to lose weight and shit, it's so stupid. It was dumb. It was dumb. Well, like, I understand if you're having, like, a party and a bunch of people want to play and you can play with, like, a homie and two-man some shit, you know what I'm saying? Coordinate and whatever, but still, it was fucking dumb.
The Wizard was released on December 15, 1989 in North America. It was panned by critics. Roger Ebert called it a thinly disguised commercial for Nintendo video games and the Universal Studio Tour.
Because they were blatant about all the Nintendo product throughout the whole entire game. They were super blatant about, I mean, throughout the entire movie, they were super blatant about it. That shit was everywhere, like City TV.
But that didn't matter to any kid who watched the movie. The biggest draw was near the end of the film, when the contestants in the Video Armageddon tournament played Super Mario Bros. 3.
Super Mario Brothers 3!
And the hype. The fucking hype.
For the majority of viewers, this was the first time they saw actual gameplay footage of the latest Mario sequel. Nintendo's dominance in the video game market and its establishment in pop culture continued to grow, and there were no signs of slowing down. In 1989 alone, Nintendo grossed $2.7 billion in retail sales. The NES was, once again, the #1 toy for the 3rd year in a row. The console...
Motherfucker went triple platinum. See that? Triple platinum. Susie dropped in the West. Triple platinum stacks.
...was in 22% of U.S. households, with 20 million units sold.
20 million
the Game Boy,
units sold.
Nintendo's new handheld system released earlier that year, was selling out in stores. Merchandising exploded with more than 200 licensed Super Mario products. World of Nintendo departments popped up in stores around the country, dedicated to selling Nintendo products. Nintendo Power magazine grew to 1.8 million subscribers. The Nintendo Power line, where players could call in for game tips, received 140,000 calls a week. The excitement around Nintendo and Super Mario Bros. 3 reached a boiling point. Children asked for the game for Christmas, despite not knowing when it would be released. They didn't have to wait long.
It's a well put together video. His research is on point. You know what I mean? Like, this is sick. This is sick. I enjoy watching stuff like this. If you like it, let me know, man. Let me know. The greatest. That's why he's the GOAT.
In January of 1990, Nintendo Power subscribers received a brand new issue. Inside was something they'd been waiting for. An official preview of Super Mario Bros. 3, along with a behind-the-scenes look at the making of the game. History had shown that a preview of a game in Nintendo Power meant the actual release was not far behind. The very next month, in February, Super Mario Bros. 3 popped up in stores across North America at a retail price of $49.95. There was a frenzy. Within 2 days, 250,000 units were gone.
Damn.
Sold out everywhere. Nintendo couldn't make the game fast enough. Stores sold out within a day. Every
Keep
other
the hype
call
up,
we
though.
get is
Keeps
about
the hype
Nintendo
up.
and Super
Toys
Mario
R
Bros.
Us.
3, said one Toys R Us employee in Chicago. We never know when we'll get it, but we'll sell out as soon as it gets here. But for anyone that managed to find a copy, it was easily one of the greatest games Nintendo had ever released.
If Super Mario Bros. 3 was a movie instead of a computer game, it would be up for an Oscar. Paul Franklin, The Courier News.
Mario! Mario! Mario!
By March, 700,000 copies had been sold. Nintendo of America unleashed their $25 million advertising campaign.
Bro.
Commercials aired on
Bro.
TV.
So they just launched their advertising campaign. Think about all the advertising that's already happened. And now they're launching their campaign. They didn't even have to. They didn't even have to. Honestly, they could have saved money on that.
There were cross promotions with other companies, including Popsicle and Nabisco.
Like, dog, they just beating a dead horse with a stick now.
NBC aired a Saturday morning cartoon,
Super Mario
The Adventures of Super Mario Bros. 3.
Yeah.
McDonald's released a set of...
Yeah, see, like him, he did a flip, he was the pump, he rolled, and he did the jump thing. He did the flip, because there's a sticky here. You push his face down, clip it, it goes, and flips.
Happy Meal toys. Meanwhile, competitors released new consoles to the market. Sega had just...
Sega was sick. For the time, too, Sega was mad sick. On top, they had Mortal Kombat.
launched their 16-bit Sega Genesis. And after the success of the PC Engine in Japan, NEC brought it over to North America as the TurboGrafx 16. But it didn't matter. Super Mario Bros. 3 was the talk of the schoolyard. Kids bragged about how far they could get in the game, or shared secrets about where to find warp whistles and new power-ups. The game was so big and so full of secrets, Nintendo worried it would overwhelm some players. So, in July of 1990...
Bro. Hold on.
Nintendo worried it would overwhelm...
That kid looks like an addict. He needs an intervention. Like, look. This kid ain't sleeping days, bro. Ain't sleeping days. Why you trying to go pro, dog? Pro ain't even a thing yet, you know? Like, take it easy. Hold up, Jesus.
Some players.
Go eat something.
In July of 1990, Nintendo Power put out their first full strategy guide, featuring Super Mario Bros. 3.
Nice.
It had maps of every level, information on every enemy and power-up, and revealed every secret in the game. Fans of all ages were obsessed with the game. One group of adult fans loved the game so much, they ported it to the PC and sent it to Nintendo, hoping to secure a license. Nintendo was impressed, but declined the offer. That didn't faze the team of John Carmack.
Which brings me back to saying, just imagine if they ended up getting into, like, computers and shit, into PC builds. It would have been nuts.
Romero, Tom Hall, and Adrian Carmack. They were excited about their work, and the following year, they formed a company, id Software, the makers of Wolfenstein 3D
That was a good game. That was a good game.
By 1991,
It's almost like
Nintendo
Doom.
sold more than 8 million copies of the game in North America, grossing more than
Or
$400
Quake.
million.
It's almost like Quake.
If Super Mario Bros. 3 were a business,
Ding.
it would have ranked in the top 10 U.S. toy companies of 1990.
Hell yeah.
At the time, it was the best-selling standalone video game ever.
That's a
Before
fact.
Super Mario Bros. 3, critics questioned whether Nintendo was just a passing craze. Electronic Arts president Trip Hawkins compared the NES to Cabbage Patch Dolls. This is a toy, and that means it's a fad, he claimed. After Super Mario Bros. 3, there would be no more doubts.
Bro, just imagine calling something a fad and like, yo, we're in 2025. We're in big 2025, you know what I mean? And vintage nostalgia for classic game stations such as the NES, Super NES, Sega Genesis, so on and so forth, like 64, Atari, whatever, plus the vintage games and stuff. It's a huge thing nowadays. It's a huge thing because how rare it is to come across that shit. You live in a bit of your childhood and stuff. It's a huge, like, pardon me, it's a huge piece of our childhood that we all knew about, that everybody knew about around the whole entire world, that every kid was super hype about at one point back in the 90s.
Nintendo reaped the rewards.
And we all had to wait for the
Revenue
magazine.
For 1990 was $3.4 billion.
I remember
which gave
Pokemon
them a
dropped. That was crazy.
88% market share. In 1991, they surpassed Toyota as Japan's most successful company.
That's
Nintendo
crazy.
earned $1.5 million per employee. But it wasn't all roses.
$1.5 million per employee.
Federal Trade Commission investigated Nintendo on allegations of antitrust violations, such as price fixing, in order to beat the competition. Nintendo denied any wrongdoing, but was ordered to send out up to $25 million worth of rebates to customers.
Nintendo of America agrees to give $25 million in coupons to consumers nationwide. The company will also pay $5 million in cash. About 400,000 Maryland residents will get $5 coupons. So damn.
The rebate took the form of a $5 coupon that consumers could only use to buy more Nintendo games.
Of course.
In total, Super Mario Bros. 3 sold more.
We're not giving you money just to have money. We're giving you money to get more of our product.
Than 17 million copies worldwide. When combined
Almost
with
like Paper
re-releases,
Mario looking ass.
it's estimated to have sold more than 30 million copies. But it was bigger than just money in sales figures.
Was
Super
it though?
Mario Bros. 3 was further proof that home video games could be huge, sprawling adventures.
Well, the game itself. But for the company, it was all about that money.
And even better than arcade games.
Yeah, it's a different experience when you're at home playing a video game and figuring shit out for yourself, right? And then realizing that you actually do need some help. And then looking it up in the Nintendo magazine, but if you didn't have the magazine, you were able to call into the hotline. And then they'll like talk you through what you gotta do to the level.
Became a superstar. Celebrities like Paul McCartney and Steven Spielberg flew to Japan to meet him. His success ensured he would either produce or direct all future big Nintendo releases. His
Motherfuckers teeth.
next
whatever.
Mario game, Super Mario World, was a launch title for Nintendo's new 16-bit machine, the Super Famicom, also known as the Super Nintendo. With the updated hardware, Miyamoto was finally able to let his hero ride a dinosaur.
I know it's funny, I was actually going to watch that one first. I'm glad I watched this one first.
Other companies
Sonic.
took notice of Mario's success. Sega saw the power of a flagship franchise and began working on their own mascot, Sonic the Hedgehog. His debut in 1991 on the Mega Drive and Genesis created legit competition in the market, leading to the great console wars of the 90s.
Yo, NBA Jam.
Even after Nintendo came out with the Super Nintendo, people continued to play and love Super Mario Bros. 3. It was listed in the top 20 NES games of Nintendo Power until the system was discontinued in 1995. When people look back on their childhood memories with the NES, they almost always, without fail, think of Super Mario Bros. 3.
I do all the time.
A game that felt nostalgic, yet revolutionary at the same time. A game that lived up to its unparalleled hype.
Facts. 100% facts. Considered first masterpiece, he continues to supervise or produce almost every Mario title at Nintendo. Is now president of Systems Research and Development, a company that helps program Nintendo games. These people are known internally at Nintendo as a dream team. Toshako, Nakago. I don't want to butcher the names, you know what I mean? Like Koji here, I can say Koji. Get that one. Considered the Super Mario Bros. 3 theme and most difficult piece of music he has ever written. He is still a composer at Nintendo. Just imagine how much money these motherfuckers got now. Like, they're dumb rich. Dumb rich. Kazuki helped write the stories for several Zelda titles, including Ocarina of Time. Nice. He's still a producer at Nintendo, working directly with outside developers. What is that? Kazuo Kai helped program many Nintendo classics. He is currently a director at Systems Research and Development and primarily works on the Legend of Zelda series. That's his jam. He's all about Zelda. Sick. Katsuya. Yo, dog, I'm gonna butcher the shit out these. I'd rather just not say them. Directed his first game, Star Fox, in 1993. Star Fox was super sick. That was a dope game. In 2001, he created Animal Crossing, which is now one of Nintendo's most successful franchises. It is, because like all women and children love that game. Co-director Super Mario Kart, which became one of the best-selling Super Nintendo games. He now oversees mobile game development at Nintendo. How happy he is, man. Howard Phillips left Nintendo in 1991 to join LucasArts Arts. Super Mario Bros. 3 was his second highest rated game while working at Nintendo. Phillips won't reveal his highest rated game because he ain't got one. He's a liar. What a liar. Look at him, he looks like a fucking liar. I'm just playing. No, man. Peter retired from Nintendo of America in 2002. President of Nintendo of America, Minority, what is that? Akawa started. We would not have achieved our phenomenal success without him. Oh, Minoru Akawa. It said it's a Japanese name. Butchering them, dog. Butchering them. It's all good though. Currently serves as a representative director at Nintendo. He is considered one of the greatest game designers of all time. Huge shout out to Norman here for doing all the work. Scripted by Kristen. Nice. Edited by Norman. Whole squad. Shout out to your whole team there, dog. So on and so forth. But yo, that's pretty much that, right? What do you guys think about that? I like that shit. I do. I honest to God like that. And I was also checking out there's someone else that I watched that actually releases Diablo series of challenges that they do. And I would like to do a couple streams about that and see if I could do the same challenge that they do, where I would keep track of it and like release it in a video form. But yo, make sure you check out Gaming Historian. He has plenty of videos. Like plenty of videos. We're gonna watch a few of these videos like every once in a while. Try to bring it up and like make it a regular thing that we get like informed about some interesting stuff that I find interesting. You know, if you find something interesting, you want us to check it out, feel free to hit us up in the Discord. But yeah, no man, I thought that was really cool. I learned some shit, which is really dope. Yeah, the anticipation for this game was actually insane. It was crazy. It was a well put together video, well scripted, just everything. That was an amazing video. And if you guys want to go check the video out yourself, it's in the pinned comments, also down in the description. All credit goes to Gaming Historian. They did all the work. We just like sat back, checked it out, and like, bro, that's so sick. We learned a couple things. There was some things that I knew about, but like, yo, we learned a couple things. Super nostalgic. I enjoyed the video quite literally. I enjoyed that shit. And then they got a plethora of other videos that like we get into. I'm always gonna take a look at the years though, of like when the videos go up. Because if it goes up like same day,
funding for Gaming Historian is provided in part by supporters on Patreon.
So they have a Patreon. Check out their Patreon if you want to go and support them as well. Leave them a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I enjoyed that. That was cool as fuck. What time are we at? Nice. So it's like about that time. Let's see. I could actually, this is what we'll do. We'll throw a game on. I will run something. So I know that there's going to be a tournament popping up for Warcraft 3. There's a huge tournament popping up for Warcraft 3. In all honesty, I'm not even going to actually play a game. I shouldn't. It'll take too long. You know what? Close it. Close it. Hold up. 1 second here. Yeah. Just making sure it closed. Man. If you guys want, we'll hop on Duel Links real quick. Do a couple Duel Link steezes. I don't know if I got the sound on for Duel Links. But, yo, I really did enjoy watching that, the retrospective, the documentary of Super Mario 3. I'm just going to come through and watch a couple street duels. Get my collection of gems on. Lulu said she has like 7k gems, which is nuts. Super crazy. I got 1100. Call it 12. I'll round up. Call it 12. Close. Close. Let me check my missions. Word. I got nothing popping there. But I will take that 100 gems. Call it 13. The room? How's the room look? There's usually people in here, but like, you know the room's done. So let's check out some street duels, see what he's saying real quick. I got one of those. I can run that. I'm not even really too concerned about any of this. What's this? I can't even get it. I'm gonna bank some more before I get into anything. Alright. Let's check out a couple duels, shall we? See what's cracking. What's going on over here with Duel Links real quick. And I'll move the chat over. I'll move you guys over to here real quick so that we're able to see. You guys are able to see and read what is happening. Karma Man. It's not gyrating. He couldn't get the gyrating blue eyes. I don't even got the gyrating. I don't want no gyrating blue eyes. But I seen it. I seen it a few times. You guys seen it a few times too. It's like, bruh, that's kind of insane. What's this? Fucking sick. Yeah, I have a few things I gotta do tomorrow. I got like I got a couple interviews I gotta go to. The one woman that called me, she's like, "Are you looking for a job still?" I was like, "Well, yeah, like through the week, Monday to Friday. I'm usually busy on weekends." She goes, "That's perfect. We're looking for someone from Monday to Friday." And I was like, "All right, cool." She goes, "Come by tomorrow." I was like, "Yeah, I'll come by tomorrow." So I'm gonna go there in the afternoon. I gotta double check and see what's going on with my tire pressure and go fill them up. I went to go and fill them up today, but the machine doesn't take coins and it uses tap with our bank card. We take our bank card, we tap it and shit. I don't do that. My shit doesn't have the tap thing activated on it. I use where you gotta like grab the thing, put it in with the chip, and then like do your business on it. Because I don't trust that tap shit, man. Don't like it. That's cool. But yo, my buddy's dad gave me a call, right? He's like, hey man, what's going on? I was like, not too much, what's going on, man? He goes, well, I'm calling you to give you some information about my son. He got arrested at work. And I was like, what? What? No way. What the fuck are you talking about? He goes, yeah, that's what happened. I was like, yo, that's not cool. That's not cool. And it's like, geez, bro, I feel for you, man, but there's nothing I can do, you know? Where I thought he already had it delegated and dealt with, apparently he just kept pushing it off. I even told him beforehand, I was like, yo, just go turn yourself in and sit for like a month. Because you're going to get let out anyway on your own recognizance. You'll be good. You'll be fine. Right? Get off with like some probation, some shit like that. Probably like some kind of order against you. But whatever. But yeah, nah, man. Super sad day for my boy's dad, for my boy too. Getting hemmed up. Out here about to bust a move, eh? Look at the movements, just busting off. I love Blue Eyes decks. Blue Eyes decks are like one of the dopest decks in my opinion. I love that deck. That's a nice lineup. If he was up there, he could have pulled the Blue Eyes. It's a good defense, so like it's not a defense anymore. I'm not even gonna rate that duel. I'm gonna end that one. I'm not even gonna rate that. That was like psh. 146. Let's see what this duel is. Level 19s, Ecuador and Indonesia. They're playing as the same character. Quinton. Current win streak is a 4. He wins to get a level. I bet you this is going to be 6. So he has various bonds. And what was that other one? Dyson Sphere Gravity. Yo, those two, like that's actually a sick combo. Never thought about it. Never thought about it. Because it ended up coming out like a couple box sets after. Good sick play. I got a deck just like that. Yeah. Got 3 of those Mamma Jammas in your piece? I know you do. Sick with summon a monster, yeah. Such a beast. Sword Soul Supreme. Sword Soul Supreme. Out on the field. For each banished card, this card gains 100 attack defense. And monster your opponent control lose 100 attack defense. If this card would be destroyed by a card effect, you can banish 1 card from your graveyard instead. If a card is banished except during the damage step, you can banish 1 card each from both your opponent's field and graveyard. You can only use the effects of this card once per turn. He's out here with a Kaiju. Sick. Yo, wait a second. What the fuck? Generator Boss of Shadows. You can only control 1 of these. Your opponent's control lose 1,000. So your opponent's monsters lose 1,000 attack and defense. Quick effect. You can tribute this XZ summon card, special summon one non-fairy monster from your extra deck. And then you can attach cards from the field and or graveyard to that special summon monster as material up to the number of materials this card had. How many materials does this card have? Damn. Clapped out with a 2750. That was actually pretty sick. There's a couple cards in there I ain't never seen. No, this will be the last one. So, I hope everybody has themselves a good night. I appreciate everybody for stopping by. If that's something that you guys like enjoy to see, let me know in the comments, because you might get some people that'll watch it later. Or, yeah, just hit me up about it. Check me in the Discord. Feel free to join Discord. Check out the video and shit and stuff. We're going to leave on a replay. Take care of yourself and each other. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll end up seeing you guys tomorrow. Till then, peace. it.